Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday to you. I just want to remind you that when we start class, if you could please make sure that your video is on so that I know that you're actually here. And after that, when I'm talking and whatnot, I'm not going to be paying attention to it too much. But if you miss class, that kind of stuff, it's on you anyways. As we're letting people in here, I'm just quickly taking attendance. Um, as people join in, and then I'll pick up on the ones that don't here, and then we'll get started. Okay, just a reminder, we're going to continue on from the notes that we had yesterday, talk about Hinduism and Buddhism. So if you have note-taking materials, you want to get that out. Also, your intro, so you're reading from the textbook along with the questions are due at the end of third period today in an hour and a half, 10:59. So if you didn't get that done, at the end of class, you're going to have 15 to 20 minutes to either watch a video or finish that if you're not done with it. I would encourage you to do that to get your points. Before I can get started and share my screen, what I need to do today is I need everybody to vote using the yes or no button. Okay, or actually not vote, just tell me what they think. Okay, so under the participants page, you're going to put yes if you would like a physical copy of the textbook. Okay, someone will have to come here next Thursday or Friday to pick it up. Okay, and this goes for all of your other classes. But I need to know by a vote of yes if you want a physical copy of the textbook. If you vote no, okay, that means that you do not want a physical copy of the textbook. Okay, we just need to be able to figure out how many students want textbooks and how many do not. And so I need everybody in the room to click on either yes or no. Okay, we can't have any in-betweens. If you're not sure, I would lean towards yes, just so that you get it just in case. Okay, I've only got 12 people out of 26, so I'm waiting on 12 more people to vote. Yes, if you want the textbook. No, red button if you do not want it. So far, I've got 14 votes. That means I'm still 12 short.
Excuse me, where do I vote at?
Excuse me?
Where do I vote at?
You're going to vote on the participants. If you click on participants, it should give you a green button for yes and a red button for no. Okay, we're up to 24. That means we got a couple more people that need to respond. Okay, we're getting closer here. All right, we're gonna get moving here. I can go ahead and kind of change those numbers or adapt them. And I don't have anyone else. Okay. Thank you for participating. Gonna go ahead and clear it. That's a new function that I added today. I'm sure some of your other teachers already started doing that. They're cooler than me. That's great. I'm not too worried about it. All right. So a couple things got to go over real quick just so that everybody's on the same page, and then we'll start the lesson for the day. So I'm going to go to modules. Modules is where you go. Please do not be going to assignments or quizzes. If it is assigned as an assignment or a quiz, please don't go there. Go to modules. Go to the week we're on, which is 7. It's usually the week, like next week will be week 8. It'll be down here, okay? Just get in a habit of going there, please, just so then you're not getting confused. Now, the first thing we did on Tuesday is I told you you had to turn in your intro by 10:59 a.m. Submit it here. Okay, so I click on that, and I'm going to see how many people have submitted it. It appears to me I had about, 30, okay? So if that's not turned in on time, which is by the end of the third period, then you still can turn it in there, but I need you to follow the policy of sending me a Canvas message when you're turning anything in late. I've had some people do it really well. Some people in this class, in fact, have sent me messages when they turned stuff in late, and it was seamless, and I applaud you for doing that. Others of you have sent me nasty emails saying, or messages saying, how come you haven't graded this or that? Well, I don't know you're turning it in, and I don't get a message until like a week later if you turn something in. So I would really, really need you guys to tell me when you're turning late work in by just sending me a Canvas message or a remind message, okay? And then also, please, please, please pay attention to the modules. So the textbook reading was here, the intro was here, okay? The notes for the week were here, and then you'll notice, and I'll kind of explain it later, the quizzes should usually be on the bottom. That's for tomorrow. And the activity that you can start tonight if you're done with your intro. If you're not done with your intro, you can do it tomorrow, and that's watching the story of the Buddha, which is a great video, one of my favorites. I just can't watch it with you, or else it will stop my YouTube upload because they'll call it a copyright issue. Okay. All right. So I downloaded this. I'm gonna get over here. We're gonna start off class today. So a continuation from the notes from yesterday. It's pretty quick, maybe 15 to 17 minutes. But if you were taking down notes and writing them, you want to do that again today. If you were not, if you were just following along, that's fine too. Maybe you're just writing down key points. That's up to you, okay? It'll all be different when you get into class, as you will be given hand notes, like slot notes upon which to write on. All right. So the quick question I had for you, just to review from yesterday, call this the warm-up. I want you to throw this in the chat box, the chat function box. What Indian achievements were the most important to humankind? So let's see what you guys can come up with. All right, so astronomy, algebra, pretty important. Yep. What other responses we got? Algebra, cool. And the rule of 0. Medicine, medical advances, journals, first hospitals, obviously super important. Inoculations and vaccines, religion, good. See if anyone else wants to throw in some stuff. How about pi, 3.14, circumference of the circle. Also pretty fun, okay? All right, for those of you that posted, awesome. Other people, I hope you're on the same page because those students were definitely on it. All right, so today we're going to take a look at 2 religions that developed in ancient India. Very, very important to the world. They're hard to explain to an extent for people that live in the West. That's the United States and North America, South America, Central America, because most of the religions in the Americas are based off of monotheism and one God, whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, or a Jew, okay? But the religions of Hinduism and Buddhism are both different. Hinduism is polytheistic, and Buddhism is non-theistic, meaning it has no God. So that's why these two Eastern religions are a little bit difficult to understand, but at the same time, over 1 billion followers of Hinduism on the earth and over 350 to 400 billion followers of Buddhism. So to be worldly citizens, it's important for us to understand a little bit of the basics about them. All right, so Hinduism itself is considered to be polytheistic. I have a handful of friends that are Hindu. Their parents were from either India or Sri Lanka, and they typically have like their local god and their god that provides their safety. Like in their car, they'll have like a little figurine or like a medallion with a piece of jewelry on it that signifies that that's the god or the avatar that protects them. Okay, so while it is polytheistic, there is no one single founder of Hinduism. It developed over about 1,000-year period after the people of the Indus River Valley kind of separated, wandered because of natural disaster, and then a group of people known as the Aryans, which were people from Central Asia, came and invaded, and then they all mixed together. And when they did that, over time, these elaborate stories developed that we call epics. Some of them are the Vedas, the Ramayana, and the Bhagavad Gita. And so these are considered sacred texts, but they're really long, long stories about how the gods provided and protected the people and went through trials and tribulations. It's difficult for people, again, in the North and South America, in the religion of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism to understand this, because they think that these books should be like the Bible or the Quran. They're not. Okay? Again, they're epics. So, no single founder, many gods. But here's the deal. While there are many gods, there is one creator God, and that God is Brahma. Okay? So Brahma is the one creator God. From Brahma, then, come many, many other gods. But the three main gods, and these gods have a bunch of avatars or gods that come from them, are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, or Shiva. Okay? Now, these gods can come in many forms: animals, humans. You'll notice on the drawing, I believe this is Radha Krishna. You can see the different forms. You can see the protectors. These gods, in the sacred texts, they come to protect the people. And they do it in different ways. All right. So polytheistic, but some people will say, well, then Christianity is polytheistic because you have Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the triune God. It's not the same. Okay, because even though there's Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, which are the main three, Brahma is the main god, and then comes Vishnu and Shiva. There's many, many, many thousands, millions and millions of different avatars, which are copies or pieces of these gods that come to earth. All right, some of the main beliefs. The idea that your soul, after death, reincarnates and is reborn into another form known as reincarnation. This is determined by one's dharma, their duty to life, and their karma. We'll get into that here shortly. Another important principle then is a principle called ahimsa, which is the Sanskrit word for nonviolence. And so Hindus believe that all living things are part of the gods and that they should be respected. Now, obviously, there are warriors, but these warriors are only supposed to protect society. And so ahimsa is the practice of nonviolence towards living things and towards other people. Okay, now, karma and dharma. Karma is all of your actions that will affect your next life. Okay, so if you do well in the life you're living, you will be reborn into a better next life. Whatever you're doing on the earth and your thoughts are considered what is called your dharma or your dhamma. And that is your moral duty to life. This totally varies upon your age, your gender, your occupation. It could be whether you're an animal or a human. But regardless of what you are, you have an obligation that requires you to behave in a certain way. And then that is determined, or how you do that is your karma, which then determines how you are reincarnated in the samsara. And I don't even need to say that, but how you're reincarnated. Okay. So I've got a bit of a cartoon for you here. It's pretty old, but it works. So karma equals actions. Dharma equals duties. So you've got the karma cat, okay? And he's at the first universe bank of karma. Karma is like having a giant bank account. Every thought is an action. Every action is a deposit. If you borrow from it, sooner or later you have to pay it back. Everyone in the world has an automatic teller machine and a bank card, the karma card. You can't leave without it. So, can anybody, or you can't leave home without it. What is this little cartoon trying to say about karma and dharma? Anyone want to take a guess for me?
And it always follows you.
It always follows you. And yes, you're going to do bad and not follow. You're going to do bad things. You're not going to follow your dharma, which causes you to do bad actions. But if you do that too much, are you going to have anything left in your bank account? Obviously, no. Okay? So the idea is you always do your duty, so you have good karma, and then what happens is you're going to be reincarnated into a better life in the next life. All right, so that brings us to kind of the thing that binds this all together, and it's known as the caste system. And let me tell you guys this, like a caste system is a general word for a social hierarchy. It's just when we say caste system, we think of India because of how strict the caste system became there and how famous it is. But honestly, there have been many caste systems in the world, and arguably there's one in the country we live in to this day. All right, but here's the deal. As Hinduism developed between about 1500 BC and 500 BC, so about 1,000 years, the stories of the gods that were in these sacred texts developed the idea that you were reincarnated if you followed your path into a higher social level. And at the top of that social level was the Brahmin. And this was believed to be the brains of Brahma. So these were the high priests and the government leaders, the princes. Then you had the Kshatriya. These were the warriors. These were the arms of the gods and the muscles. Then you had the Vaisya. Okay? This was the thigh of the gods. This was the hands. This is the artisans and merchants, which made products that could be sold that brought money into India. Then you had the Sudras. The Sudras were the common laborers. These people, the Sudras, were the farmers. And yes, there were the most people by far, but they're the ones that provided life by farming. They're the feet of Brahma. Okay, and then outside of that, anybody who was known as a Dalit or an untouchable was someone that was a foreigner or somebody that was considered like they didn't follow their caste, and so they became an untouchable, or they were born into that. Okay, but so people of other religions were not considered part of these groups. Then each one of these groups over time broke into thousands of different smaller subgroups. And Hinduism and this whole idea of the caste system was legal until the 1990s in India. Okay, and it's still practiced today, but it's not legal. All right, other things that are sacred, the cow, the elephant, other animals are viewed as sacred. So if you go to the streets of India even like in a modern day city like Mumbai or New Delhi, you can find cows wandering the streets, and they're not to be touched. They're sacred. The Ganges River provides life. There's festivals a couple times a year. There they go and camp for a week on the banks of the Ganges River, which is very dirty today because there's so much pollution. But people still go there to make sacrifices because this is what provided life. All right, so that's Hinduism. Okay, over 1 billion followers, mostly in India today. Started before Buddhism. Buddhism came about then, and I'm going to go through this fairly quick because the video you're going to watch will cover the details, and I love the video. It's a fun one. But Buddhism was also started in northern India, which is more like today, like Bengal, Bangladesh. But it started by the Buddha, or Siddhartha Gautama. And so there is a founder. And he was an Indian prince who realized that he lived a privileged life, and his only way to get rid of himself suffering constantly was to eliminate his earthly desires. And if he could do that, he would reach the ultimate state of being, and that's called nirvana. But he realized that humans, and all humans, have desire. I think that's a pretty foundational message, because we all have desires. Like, I would love to have a McDonald's breakfast right now. I'd love to have a cold brew Starbucks right now, but instead I've got this nasty coffee that I made yesterday morning. And see, that's sinful on my part, or that's me thinking I'm suffering when I really don't need any of that, okay? If I just could train my brain to not have those desires. Now, Buddhism. Let me try to stay on topic. Buddhism. It shares the same idea of karma and dharma and reincarnation as Hinduism, okay? So in your notes, you'd want to write karma, dharma, reincarnation, same as Buddhism. What's different, though, is the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, was not a god and did not even want to be viewed as a god, okay? Buddhists do not believe that there is a God. And so that's called non-theistic, meaning no theistic or no gods. All right. Over time, some people started to worship the Buddha as a god. That's why you've probably seen a lot of the famous statues before of the Buddha. But in reality, he did not want to be treated like a god. Now, outside of his palace, on these trips that he took, he realized the Four Noble Truths. And this is kind of important for you to get. You'll get it in the video. 1, everyone suffers. 2, people suffer because they live in desire and constant want. 3, you can't eliminate this idea of suffering and desire. And 4, the only way to do it is by following the Eightfold Path of the middle way. Okay? So all of life is suffering. Everyone suffers. Suffering is caused by your brain desiring things. There's a way to train your brain. That's 3. And 4, the way to do it is to follow the Eightfold Path. Okay? So, the Eightfold Path then is as follows. Okay? In wisdom, in ethics, and in morals and mental development, you follow what's called the right way. And so you train your brain in the following 8 things you can see on here. And that can give you an opportunity then to eliminate those things that you think you need, but you don't. Okay, that's called the Eightfold Path, or the middle way. Other beliefs of Buddhism, I don't have them on here, but another belief that makes sense is called the 5 precepts. And I'm just telling you this so you are educated citizens of the world. But the 5 precepts: don't misuse alcohol or drugs. Don't misuse sex. Don't lie. Don't cheat. And don't steal. And so those 5 simple concepts, which are a lot harder to do than you think. Don't misuse sex. Don't misuse alcohol or drugs. Don't lie. Don't cheat. And don't steal, are what are known as the 5 precepts. Some of you are thinking, oh, in Judaism and Christianity, that could be like the 10 Commandments. Yes. Okay. But that is another important part of being a Buddhist. All right. Last but not least here, Buddhists do not, and this is again important to understand, Buddhists don't believe in the caste system. And so because of that, they think that at any point in time, someone who has eliminated their idea of selfishness and suffering and desire, they can achieve nirvana. And that's the goal, is to achieve nirvana, and you don't get stuck in these millions of cycles of life and continue to be reborn again. Okay. Buddhists are also believe in ahimsa as well, which is nonviolence. We kind of talked about that. All right. Last but not least, I want you guys to see, because Buddhists didn't believe in the caste system, you'll see there aren't a lot of Buddhists in India, but there are lots of Buddhists that made their way to China and then into Korea and then Japan and then south into Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam are mostly Buddhist, not Hindu and not Confucian religions. All right. That's the quick and dirty of that. Let me show you guys what I would like you to do. So you're going to obviously have a few minutes, which is about 19 minutes, probably a little less after I'm done talking, to get your intro done by 10:59. So get that done first. Once that is finished, you can either watch this video now, like for homework, or now if you're done with your intro, or you can watch it tomorrow, but it's not due. The actual video guide is not due until tomorrow. Depends if you want to work ahead or not, or if you have other work to do. I'm trying to be respectful of that. Okay, I've had one person submit it. Okay, so you're going to watch the video, link to the document below, fill out the questions as you watch the video. It's due after the quiz tomorrow in class. Now, this video, I think it's about 20 minutes long. I can't show it on here. Like I said, it'll get me called out for copywriting, but it's from PBS, and it is really interesting. You've got to understand that it's animated, so it gives you kind of a peaceful, fun, animated view of how the Buddha came up with this idea of suffering and how to eliminate it. Okay? Other than that, I want you to leave, get your work done, and I only want people to stand here that have a question about how to submit things on Canvas, or anybody that needs help and isn't sure where to find things. I'm here for questions. I'd love to answer them. If not, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. So guys, go ahead and ask away. So I'm here. Janai, do you have any questions? Or Tariq or Xavier?
Oh no. My my internet lagged out, and so I thought we were still on the Zoom call.
Your what happened, Tariq?
My internet cut off.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, so we finished it. Did you get to finish the notes on Hinduism and Buddhism?
Yeah, I got halfway through before
Okay.
it cut off.
Finish going through Buddhism, and then your intro, if you can still see my screen, your intro is due by 10:59. Okay, that's the important one to get done, as that is due at 10:59. It's 20 points, okay? That's right here at week 7. Maybe you already turned it in, I'm not sure. But then if you're done with that, then you can start on watching the story of the Buddha on PBS. You have to download it, and then it's got the link on there to YouTube, and it's got, like, I think you watch up to minute about 20, 25 or so. And it's very interesting. It's animated, and it gives you a lot of background on how Buddhism started, and it's kind of fun. Okay.
All right.
That's not due till tomorrow at the end of class, though. So if you have other work to do, or you need to work on your intro, do that now. Don't waste the time on that, okay?
All right.
All right. Thanks
See ya.
for asking. Keep in touch if you ever miss class or whatnot, so I keep you going, all right?
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.